Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Crypto Vatsik. Before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you do find this content helpful, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new material. As always, this is not financial advice. These are my opinions only. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so today's video, I'm just going to go through Sand and Solana, just do a quick TA update and show you my thoughts and just kind of get right into it. So let's get started. First off, we got Sand, and obviously we'll just start off with a channel here as I usually do. I would say from the swing high down to maybe halfway through this wick here is a swing low. Obviously some nice reaction right off the bat just to see this. And then we've got down here our macro low, obviously. Okay, and within that we've got a bullish order block here. Okay, so clearly that red candle invalidated. We had a break in market structure right here. Okay, not making lower highs. We made a higher high, break in market structure, bullish order block. Really nice reaction, right? Like really nice to see. Right, this, and then at this point we had some basically these sweep of these highs here. Okay, so we swept this high here. We've swept this high as well up here. Okay, so this is supply, right? So basically came up into supply, people unloaded their positions or started to short it on a sweep high. And then we've got these SFPs right here. Okay, so right here, we've got swing failure pattern. Okay, couldn't break these highs and continue the bullish momentum, continue the trend. Okay, broke down. And there's clearly resistance here. And there's also our bearish order block right here, which we'll just draw out and make red. Okay. Green candle invalidated, break in market structure. Okay, made new lows, back test here, and could not close inside this bearish order block or even come above it. So wicked inside, heavy supply, okay, heavy resistance, and obviously broke down to the bottom of the range here to the bottom band. Some bearish consolidation right there, okay, and then broke below the band. And while we did that, we also swept these areas of demand here. Okay, so we came down. I would have liked to have seen a stronger reaction. We had a bit of a wick here, but really nothing. Came back down here. That's where we had our bearish consolidation. Then we came over here to this low of demand and just kind of chopping around it, right? So not really much of a reaction. You kind of want to see come down into these demand zones and have a nice strong buyback, but haven't really seen that. That's fine. You know, we're in a bear market, so these things take time, but just to clarify, we have swept these lows at this point. We have held this macro bottom though, which obviously we want to see. We want to see that across the board on many different projects. This is not unique to Sand. Obviously, this is what we want to hold, right? You could just draw this bullish order block out and see where we're at. And obviously, we've tapped it. Demand is strong. Very nice reaction. And now what are we seeing? Well, we're hoping that this is a failed breakdown, right? So we're hoping that this macro low holds, and you know, in essence, it's an SFP, but just inverted, right? So we'll just super quickly inverse the chart, and if you were trading this up, you know, and shorting it, sort of thing, this potentially is an SFP forming right here, right? So we had our high here, and could not continue the momentum, right? And then it'll break down potentially down here, so that would be our SFP, right? So that's what I'm looking for right now, and that's potentially happening. We've got reason to believe that at this point, but I need to see more from Sand to confirm this. So right now, I want us to get back into the range first of all, right? So how are we going to see that into this range here, the bottom band at least, right? So I want to see basically, well, we're going to see a retest of demand. Okay, so this is our break in market structure here. Okay, so we're making lower high, lower high, lower high, higher high. Okay, so we came down, tested demand, bullish order block. We had a break in market structure right here. This is where demand is, this level, right? Just see all these little wicks here. So the expectation is just simple that we'd come down, test that area. Okay, and then I would like to see a significant reaction, buyback, and come back up to at least above this area of bearish consolidation that we had previously of supply, and get back inside of this range. And then we can do this and whatever at that point. But as long as we get back up here and get this bullish momentum back and a nice reaction, that is a good sign. So, you know, we'd make our higher high here. So higher high here, higher high kind of thing. I want to continue seeing higher highs. And, for those of you in Elliott wave, want to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, just continue that trend up, right? So this is what I want to see right now. And if we were going to get long in here, obviously we're in a minor bearish trend here. Okay, so let's just see what the fib's doing. Take it from this high down to the low. The 618 is right on that level of demand right there, right? So right in here is your sweet spot if you're looking to get long, right in there, and we'll make it gray for now. That's where I'd be looking to get an entry. And this is on the 12-hour now, so yeah, that's where I'd be looking. But I would like to see, potentially even tomorrow, Tuesday, this reaction here, this strong reaction to continue the momentum, to help confirm that this is our bottom, for the time being, and to confirm that this is not just going to be an SFP and we're just going to continue to make new lows. Okay, and obviously, if you're able to get in somewhere down here as low as you can, kind of thing, maybe dollar cost a couple buys, that's still a significant drop actually, between this entry and this low here. So, it's going to be a tough play, but I'd probably enter if we got down in here and started to see some sort of bouncing and maybe a potential break, a new higher high, then I'd be comfortable setting my stop loss probably just right below this wick right here. And then I'd, obviously be targeting somewhere up in this range. But I think at this point, if this is potentially, more of a macro bottom for a while, then this play would, go further into the future, and I'd probably hold it a little bit longer. And again, a lot of other coins look just like this right now at this point. So, it's not super unique to Sand. You can see a lot of other coins playing out exactly like this right now. So we'd have to see some sort of market-wide, I'd say a market-wide crash or unforeseen event to really push everything down further, and for Sand to break this macro low down here. So, and then just super quickly, let's just see what RSI is doing. All right. Yeah, so we had a bullish divergence obviously right here. So we had this diagonal line here, okay? So lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. And RSI low, higher low, higher low. So just another reason to believe that this is going to continue up, right? It's not guarantee, but definitely just another thing to consider. All right, that's kind of it for Sand right now. Like anything, this could always just break down and come lower, so manage your risk accordingly. If we came back down and we started to test this low again and come back into the green bullish order block here, this green area, I wouldn't be looking for longs anymore. I'd want to see this play out and see how it's going to react, especially on Monday. Monday's open tomorrow and Tuesday. So yeah, stay frosty. Next, I'm going to cover Solana. Okay, so very similar to Sand. Like I said, we're seeing a lot of similarities across the board here. I'll just take a range from the low, and you know what? I'm going to take it up to here. There's some nice reaction over here with this low and this wick, and then obviously with these three here, and a deviation above here. So right off the bat, okay, so we've taken up sweeps of these highs here. 1, 2, yeah, basically a little bit of a level here with this bearish consolidation that we broke down from, and then below, and obviously resistance in there. So here's our range case, a nice reaction in the EQ. And then we have obviously, again, similar swept these areas of demand right here. Okay, so we've come back down, swept those areas of demand. Again, not much of a reaction, bearish consolidation right in this area, came back down just near the range low, and had some sort of bottom here. And then clearly what we're seeing now is this resistance at this previous bearish consolidation right here. Okay, and then let's just see. Yeah, so obviously this is well from this macro low, this huge wick that we had. So there's definitely an area of interest in here. So we got the range EQ, we got this horizontal, this the dotted line here from the macro low, and then obviously this bearish consolidation, all acting as resistance. So I definitely expect a retrace here, and you can already see large wicks up and starting to flatten line out. Okay, so I'm expecting this to come down, but the bullish sign for this is we had lower low, okay, and then right here. So this level here we have broken, so that is a bullish break in bearish market structure. Okay, right there. So we had a higher high made and then a retest right back at it right there. That's beautiful to see. And then of course our bullish order block right here in green. Okay. So very similar. What do I want to see? Well, I would like to see some more volume to push another leg up to get back above the range EQ, back above this resistance, and start to continue this trend here. Okay, so we've tested this low. Okay, we've retested it. We've made a higher high. So sorry, a higher low. So we made our low. We made a higher low. Okay, on a macro scale. And now we need to see this continue, but it doesn't mean that we can't wake up tomorrow and see red in the streets, right? It doesn't mean we can't see this come down, retest this bullish order block here, okay, somewhere within it, or even just a tap at the top where this area is it's an SR flip, right? So this previous resistance smashed up through it, bullish retest, okay, so now this is support, and I want to see a strong reaction either, early this week, whenever, but basically however long this plays out, I want to see a strong reaction in this area to get above this range EQ, above this resistance here, and just confirm that this market structure has been broken, which it has, but just confirm this trend. Okay, so that's what I want to see, because if we start to hover around here and dip below again, then it's failed, it's invalid, and I'm out kind of thing. Okay, so again, very similar, but this is kind of my area where I would look to get long. Okay, and let's see. Let's go on the 12-hour. Okay, so I'll just clean this up a little bit, getting messy here. Okay, so yeah, basically come back down in here and let's see what the fib's doing from the top of this guy there to the bottom. Again, right in the sweet spot, 618 right here. If you're not seeing that, it's right in here. Okay, that's the sweet spot. So good reaction off of that will be a good sign. Okay, I'm talking like Monday or Tuesday. I mean, this is on the 12-hour, so it could take some time to play out. We'll see. We're talking, potentially September 15th, 16th, but the timing's not critical. It's the levels and then invalidation point, right? So if you're going long in this area, stop loss below, you're still in this order block. On the higher time frame, you're still on this order block. So again, manage your own risk, to each their own, but ideally you could get in low enough that your stop loss is below this low here. Okay, so below this guy right there would be clearly invalid, right? Clearly invalid. We're coming back down to test lower and would have to reevaluate. But that is how I would play it at this point on Solana. I do think that and maybe we wake up tomorrow and we see a huge leg and we come back in here and that's fine too, right? But I would expect to see this play out. And again, it always depends on what pop-up Bitcoin does and what the market does in general. But if we can hold these levels, I've shared this chart. This is Bitcoin here, okay, on the 12-hour. I've shared this chart out yesterday, and basically this is what I said I was expecting. It was somewhere around here. I said, okay, a couple more pushes high here to push into this previous high and sweep this area supply. We had a nice wick up, and then I expected us to hit this resistance at this EQ, kind of this area, this zone, right, and come back down into this local area demand. I don't know if it'll come down this low, but this is basically your target, maybe your last target, and this is also my ideal long. So I'd be getting more into a long position at this point, right? And so this is very similar to what we're seeing and coming back into this level, right? We've got a higher low here from the low made. We're going to come back into this demand from this previous bearish consolidation, and the 618 level lines up right in here as well. So I could see something like this playing out, and so far it is. So anyways, that's my thoughts for now. We'll see in the coming couple days. Hopefully you found this helpful. I really appreciate you joining, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. See ya.